Kia ora guys, Bird here. Welcome to episode 7 of Thaumcraft 5. I have turned back into a birdman! Woo! And this is not even my final form. Got some pumpkins growing here now because what I was doing before is a little bit of modifications to this guy. I've changed out the arcane stone blocks that were there with just basic stone bricks with a little bit of a slab job on top there, and some wood on the inside, and the birch door. Of the 3 wood types that I've tried, birch is my favourite, for at least for this design so far. And yeah, Creeper decided that he didn't like what I'd done with this front garden area. I had some fences here and I had a pumpkin hanging from here, so I'll have to patch this up at some point, but for the moment, this is how we're getting in and out, just kind of squidging around the side. Oh, in last episode, you may remember that I was talking about how there was an Enderman that I heard. Turns out that there's actually a whole extra little cave system back here. I didn't know that this cave system was here. I had to dig through here, and there are a whole bunch of zombies crammed in here when I initially punched through, but I've cleared all that out now, and that actually does go down pretty deep. And I've managed to get out a decent amount of resources. Let's take a look at the sweet loot, not the research table. That will be later. We've got a decent amount of iron, gold, and... oh, where's my gold? No, I think the loot's in here. There we go. That's more like it. Sweet loot. There we go. So that fills that up. So that's a decent number of gold blocks right there. Got all of these shard types now, and I've actually got more than a stack of earth shards at the moment. Starting to get up a decent amount of redstone. Getting some more diamonds, or maybe I had the same diamonds, I can't remember. I've got some lapis now, so we can do some enchanting. But yeah, that's what's going on there. Let's put the shades on, because this is what we got in the last episode as well. The goggles of revealing. I think most of my stuff's in here as well. Yeah, let's get all this out, as well as the new wand. Oh yeah. And yeah, let's go ahead and get our discount rings on as well. You never know when we're going to need to craft some stuff, like during the episode. So, anyway, let's get to it. I think what I want to get started with today as far as research goes, let's see, if we want to get the thermostatic harness, which is going to be down here somewhere, we need to get infusion. I have no idea what to get for that, so we probably have to keep going around. What's that? Thaumic diopter. That's new. Whatever that is. Well, we got the goggles of revealing last time, so let's I'll switch over to a different arc today. I think I want to head back into the alchemy tab, actually. The fact that there's only 4 tabs there is kind of throwing me off. Yeah, I think what I want to do is get some Elementum going. Mystical energy source. We're going to need some scribing tools and paper for that. I think that's in here still, yep. I realize that we're eventually going to come to a halting point because I don't have any silverwood trees yet, but we're going to do as much as we can here, so let's get the Elementum research note, just kind of precariously stand over this hole here. Well, there looks to be a Potentia dot on there if I had to guess. Sure enough, there it is. Now we could just very easily kind of cheese it if we wanted to, but let's see if we can do something a little bit more interesting, shall we? Let's try it out. So I think we'll go Ordido, like so, and then we'll go Mortus, like that, get some Mortus down, switch over to Ire, and finally get some Luke. So, fairly simple one. That was fairly dang simple. Wow, that's got to be a record right there. Alright, so let's go ahead and read about Elementum now. Wow, just like that we've got it. This substance throbs with fiery energy, and it is more than eager to release that energy at the slightest bump. It may be unstable, but it would probably make a good source of fuel. It's probably not a good idea to throw it against a solid surface, unless you enjoy explosions. Okay, Elementum. It looks like the texture for this hasn't changed. It takes coal and charcoal as the catalyst, and then the actual things that you need inside are Potentia, Periditio, and Ignis. Now that allows us to learn about the Essentia distillation, which I am going to go ahead and pick the research note up for here now, even though I know from playing with TC4 we won't be able to complete this. Okay, looks like it takes Ignis, Aqua, and Fabrico. That's a little bit more of an interesting one. How are we going to deal with this guy? I think what we're actually going to do is something fairly simple here. Let's go get some Permutatio, like so. And then we'll be able to put Periditio down, And then we can do a Gerloom and Exanimes, if I recall. Another really simple one as an ore. Easy. Wow, man, we're just sort of blitzing through the research here today. So we just discovered Essentia distillation, and we also discovered our watered jars and labels at the same time. Kind of hidden right there, very awesome. Let's go ahead and read about this, though. In the future, you'll definitely need to have ready access to multiple different kinds of aspects, and not just the primal aspects drawn from your wand. Using basic alchemical principles, you have devised a way to break down objects and convert them into Essentia. The first step in this process requires an Essentia smelter. Okay, that's a new word. The smelter works much like a normal furnace by burning coal to reduce heat, but instead of smelting ore into metal, it breaks down objects into a slurry of raw, unprocessed Essentia. This process isn't very efficient, and a small amount of Essentia is converted into flux, roughly 20% of the time. That is a new thing right there. Let's just read that again. Isn't very efficient. Yes, so this process isn't very efficient, and a small amount of Essentia. So 20% of your Essentia goes into the void. That sucks. But I guess, okay. I guess that was a really big balancing thing if you think about it. We probably need some way of getting rid of that flux. I kind of like how actually, I think that's a good change because a flux didn't really play a huge role in the previous mod TC4. Like, I was almost completely insane and almost nothing was happening to me. Anyway, the recipe for this guy is a crucible, a furnace, 5 cobblestone, and brass plates. Okay, so how do I make brass? It's not showing me how to make it there. Now let's see, next step. The next step in this process is to take the Essentia slurry and distill it using an arcane alembic. To work, arcane alembics need to be placed on top of a smelter. Multiple alembics can be placed on top of each other to increase the storage, but it does not influence processing speed. The Essentia slurry will slowly be drawn into the alembic, and the individual aspected Essentia separated out. If the smelter is being powered by Elementum, this distillation process is much faster, so pro tip, just always use Elementum with this thing, otherwise it's going to take 4 freaking ages to get stuff done. So in order to make this, you're going to need 4 great wood planks by the looks of it, 2 Essentia filters, 2 brass plates, which remain a mystery, a bucket, and that's pretty much it. That's what you get, as well as a bit of vase. That's actually pretty dang expensive in the vase department as well. Okay, so the alembic. Right, that's a retextured alembic there as well. Looks kind of cool. He's sort of gone for sort of that more brass, bronze, copper coloured theme with the Essentia related stuff this time around, rather than just kind of this weird sort of grey stone, which I actually do like. I like this change here. Kind of makes things look a little bit more magical, a little bit more interesting. Sweetness. The Essentia can then be extracted out of the alembic using vials, jars, or more complex means, and that guy is going to get on my nerves very quickly here. Those signs keep vanishing every time I sleep in this bed. Right, I'm going to deal with this guy, show him what for. If the door will let me escape. Doors in the real world in my house have wanted to go after me for ages. Shut up! I don't know what kind of mood I'm in today, I'm sorry. Man, there's all kinds of badness. That's right. I am the king of the daylight. Bow before me or be destroyed. Or something. Sorry. Okay, let's get back to reading about this stuff here. So we got this guy. Like the changes, but unfortunately these Essentia filters, yeah, they're the bit that requires the silverwood planks, and we don't have silverwood trees because I don't know where a magical forest is, so I'm going to need to do some more exploring to find out if there's even a magical forest on this continent. I haven't found one so far. It's just been savanna, very small forests, and lots of desert on this continent, to be honest. Alright, let's see what is next here. Water jars and labels. Storing and organizing your Essentia. Pretty important. Essentia can be stored in water jars. Water jars can be placed in the world and can be placed in the world, okay, there's a typo there, and are able to store Essentia virtually indefinitely. The enchantment placed on the jars also makes adding or extracting Essentia a breeze. Jars can be filled from an alembic by clicking with the jar directly on the alembic. They can also be filled and emptied using files. What's more, they make an excellent storage medium for jams and preservatives. Nice little flavor text touch right there. So to make this guy, you're going to need a wooden slab of any type and 7 glass panes of any type. So they're fairly cheap. It's actually been a long time since I needed to make some. I normally just, in the TC4 world, I just made these in like batches of 64. But yeah, it's been a long time since I made one. I forgot the recipe even. Shift-clicking on jars and alembics with an empty hand will empty them. And as long as a jar contains some Essentia, you can attach a jar label to it. This label will lock the jar to that type of Essentia and it will not be able to accept any other kind of Essentia. You can remove a label by shift-clicking with an empty hand on the side of the jar containing the label, but take care not to shift-click on another side as it will empty the jar as normal. So the recipe for your blank label is an ink sac, slime balls and 4 paper, and that gets you 4, so 1 paper per, so quarter ink sac per, so that's a fairly reasonable recipe. You can place a label in a crafting bench with a file of Essentia to assign an aspect to it, and when placed in an empty jar, it will automatically lock the jar to that aspect. The Essentia used in the recipe is not consumed. Placing it on a filled jar will change the label to the jar's Essentia type. On a filled jar will change the label to the... That makes it sound like I could possibly put a jar label on something that doesn't have it already. Spiritus times 1. Okay, a Versio. I think that's a Versio because of the V there. Anyway. Yeah, so that's the new Essentia. Looks like the jar label's gotten a retexture there. They look a little bit better than they did before. They barely changed colour in TC4. It's kind of annoying. And then you can just take your label and throw it in the crafting table and get it back. So basically, once you've got a decent stockpile, you never need to make any more of those. As I found out anyway. Awesome stuff. So we got that, but we can't do much more with Essentia distillation without silverwood. So we're going to have to leave that for another day, unfortunately. I think what I want to do next is unlock magical metallurgy, where metals meet magic, and that's going to allow us to make Thaumium, which would be a pretty handy thing to have, particularly for moving forward. I'm probably going to upgrade to Thaumium tools and Thaumium armor fairly soon here. The iron armor's getting a little old. So let's get started here. We're going to need some machina and metallum connectorisms to get across here. So let's try and get started. I just need to check what the what instrumentum is made up of. Okay, metallum and potentia. So if we do something like instrumentum and potentia, that would be a fairly nice thing. So let's get potentia as well. What was the recipe for potentia? I think that's Ordo and Ing. Yes, that's right. So take those two, and let's see if I... No. Well, that was close. So you take these two. Really, dude? You're gonna do this? Just put your heads through the door, that's fine. It's an angry zombie with a helmet. That explains why he wasn't burning to death. So, I'm the king of people who don't have helmets, apparently. Anyway, let's move on. We're going to need to make some potentia next. Another really simple research here. Just a straight line, come on. They're very easy. They've gotten way easier nowadays. They feel easier anyway now that I've done so much TC4. So it's over here. Let's have a read about it. Metals have proven to be quite easy to manipulate via thaumaturgical principles. Your first experiments have led to the discovery of Thaumium. Thaumium is the result of infusing base metals with raw magical energy. The result is a metal harder than iron, with the ability to accept enchantments beyond that which iron is normally capable of. In other words, it can do haste, I think. I'm not sure if haste is locked, or... what's the other one? Repair. Yeah, repair's a really nice one that can go on Thaumium. A metal such as this has many applications in the crafting of more advanced thaumaturgical devices. Hint, hint, hint. It can also be used to craft tools, arms, and armor in a crafting table using the normal recipes, which is what I was talking about before. And here we go. Alchemical brass. I guess that explains where it is in the Thaumonomicon. While Thaumium has many useful features, sometimes mundane metals are better suited to certain tasks. Brass is a sturdy, low-friction metal perfectly suited to craft intricate mechanical devices. Unfortunately, it's not always possible to get a hold of it due to the morphic properties of the universe you may find yourself in. In other words, you have no brass. Fortunately, you have found an alchemical method for crafting this useful metal. And there it is right there. So you take some iron, okay, some aqua potentia, and that gets you brass. Okay, and you need to make this. Oh, the recipe's changed because we don't have magic anymore. Or a pre-contatio. That seems a bit of a weird change. Why was that removed? I'm not sure. Perhaps it'll be revealed later on. Okay. Let's see. There's more recipes here. Here we go. We can make brass gears using iron ingots and alchemical brass, and we can make these brass plates with alchemical brass ingots. Oh, here we go. We can make Thaumium gears as well. Oh, man! Are these going to be used for Essentia stuff? Probably. That's going to be really awesome. They look cool. It's just what I'm sort of thinking about there. And then we've got the normal recipes here for the old tried and true Thaumium tools, which have stayed with the mod, I think, since TC1. I know that they were in TC2, but if they've been in all in the whole time, as well as the textures here, I think the textures may have gotten the occasional facelift, but they've more or less stayed the same here. Remember, that's the sword for the texture for the sword. It's got like a shorter hilt on it. Oh, I knew that word. Somehow rattling in my mind, amazingly. Let's go ahead and finish off this episode by doing one more research in another area of the Thaumonomicon here. I think I actually want to do a research mastery, the very first forbidden knowledge here. So forbidden knowledge, if you haven't played TC4 before, some of the researchers have got this little modifier on them called forbidden knowledge, and then it shows you how severe it is, from mostly harmless all the way up to taboo, I believe. I think there's only one vanilla research that has taboo. Anyway, this basically adds some insanity to your player. It becomes a little bit more important later on in the playthrough here. We'll get to that later, but for now we basically don't have to worry about it because it's so low that it's probably not even going to do anything picking up this little amount. So let's go ahead and get that research note, throw it in there, and you can see the purple text right there. So this one's actually going to be a little bit harder. We will have to think for this episode, yes! And it looks like we're actually starting to get some more juice here. This is the amount of juice that Azenor thinks you need to finish this research off. So, man, we need like an ultra hardcore, or, you know, just a harder difficulty setting for these, to be honest. There needs to be like an elite way to do it or something. Anyway, that'd be kind of cool. Just saying. So let's see if we can get started with this research. It's going to be pretty insane, actually. Yeah, Spiritus is probably what we're going to have to use there to get started, and that uses Spiritus as well. This actually is going to be pretty difficult. Okay, let's get started with Spiritus. That is going to be life and death. So let's get some Mortuus and that guy, and get those two down. So that's Spiritus. If I throw that there, that's going to be all good. And then we can connect that to death somehow, I think. Probably what I want to do is go over this way, actually. So if I get some more death here, throw that down, and then I can use a Periditio, then I can connect to that using Perimutatio, like that. Yeah, good plan. Then how am I going to connect over here? Okay. That is going to be a little harder. Yeah, because I think we have to use Ignis, basically, so it'd be kind of nice to use Ignis Gerlum, but maybe we can figure something out for this area here. Maybe we can actually kind of curve around like this. That might be a possibility, because I'm not really thinking of anything. We've got our Perimutatio back. Cool. So let's go there, then we'll go Ordo, perhaps a little wasteful, but it works. That works. Okay, and then we can go Ignis off the backside like that. I ran out of ink in that guy. Okay, so let's just quickly switch them out. That's typically what I do, and my ink sacks are in here. Just quickly fill this dude up. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Alright, let's keep going. So we need to get some Ignis down. We're already using spiritus, so it looks like we're going to have to use iron. Or maybe there's an aspect that uses sensus as a precursor. I don't think so anymore. And yeah, he changed the way that it works now. So there's only like 3 tiers. So like mortus, no. Spiritus is like a god tier one, I think. Right. Where did that come from? So, how are we going to bring this around? We need some other aspect. Is Cognitio? Yeah, we're already using Cognitio. We might have to cheat on this one. Let's see. I'm just looking around for stuff. Aurum. Oh, hold on. Aurum. Oh, but Aurum then connects to Ire. So we can't really use that. Anything else that connects to Potentia? Let's have a look around. Instrumentum. Okay, Instrumentum might save the day here, actually. So let's put some Instrumentum down. Now, that's Metallum, isn't it? So let's get that. And what was Metallum again? I think it was that. Yeah, so Metallum. Oh, no. You've got to make Instrumentum first, bird. So if I do that, yeah, that's going to work. And then I can go Metallum. Like that again. Yep. Metallum down. Now Metallum connects to Auto and Terra. Okay. Let's see if we can work this out. So if I throw Terra right there, there's nothing that's going to directly link to that, I don't think. Might just have to wiggle around here. Not really think of anything right off the bat. Anything that connects to Ire that we could use. Lux is an idea here. Multus, yeah. Sensus, duh. Wakwas, Vitreus. Vitreus is making a comeback. Is that it? Yeah, so that's the new Vitreus recipe, okay. But how are we going to get up here, though? We don't have Sano or anything like that anymore. I've got to learn these new combos. Ordo. Right, so Metallum, we're already using Metallum. Multus. What about the old Multus Volatus? No, I don't think that's going to work. Bestia, there we go. So if we go Multus Bestia, that should work. Let's see, Multus, what was the recipe for Bestia? Sorry. That's going to happen. Bestia, so Multus and Victus, yeah, okay. So we need another Multus and Victus. Like that, there you go. So if we take those guys out and make that, Bestia right there, so that can connect to... Oh no. Please give me it back? No. Oh well. Okay, so... What was my plan on this? No, I think I wanted to do... I think I probably... could have done that a little bit better. So if I put that there and do that, there we go. That connects to those two. I didn't have to build that other Bestia, but whatever. And finally, get some Multus down. There we go. That was probably a little bit more convoluted than necessary. Maybe, I don't know. But we got it. We got it. One aspect used of each type. Right-click to learn this discovery. I will indeed do that, sir. Research mastery. And it doesn't tell us that we picked up any warp down there anymore. So, yeah. Alright, so we got the final tier of the research. Research? What does it say? You've become more efficient at performing research. Woo! Whenever you remove an aspect that you placed in the hex, there is a 50% chance that you'll regain the research point. Now, I like that change. That didn't happen in TC4. That's very nice. Additionally, there is a 10% chance that whenever you place an aspect, that it will not cost any research points to do so. Another very nice addition. Lastly, you're able to combine aspects in the research table by shift-clicking on the aspect you wish to create. If you have enough of the component aspects, they'll automatically combine to create the clicked aspect. Yeah! That's another really nice one for time saving, stopping you having to click at a button. But yeah, that's going to have to be trialed out and used and seen how it works in the next episode, because we have the research pool for each research, and I'm not sure how that's going to play into what we just learned there. A bit more of a boring episode here. It was a researching episode, but that's what Thaumcraft is. Hope you guys enjoyed the video all the same. Thank you very much for watching, kia kaha, and I'll see you in the next one.